I'm not plugging anything. I have nothing to sell. I really wanted to come on the show and thank you for 30 years of brilliant entertainment.
Well, isn't that nice?
Elizabeth Taylor, Hollywood legend, celebrated for her beauty, talent, and whirlwind romances. In this video, we'll uncover her iconic career, the loves that defined her life, and the surprising final words that left a lasting impression. Little Elizabeth's life. Elizabeth Taylor was born on February 27, 1932, in Hampstead Garden suburb, London, to American parents from Arkansas City, Kansas. Her father, an art dealer, and her mother, a former stage actress, provided a rich artistic foundation for her future. The family moved to London in 1929, where they opened an art gallery on Bond Street, and Elizabeth's early life was shaped by vibrant cultural and social circles, including political figures like Colonel Victor Cazalet, who became her unofficial godfather. Elizabeth attended Byron House, a Montessori school, which encouraged her creativity. Raised in the Christian Science faith by her mother, she was exposed to the religion's focus on spirituality and healing. As tensions in Europe rose in 1939 with the looming threat of World War II, her parents decided to move the family to the United States. They sailed to Pasadena, California, where they lived with Elizabeth's maternal grandfather. Elizabeth's father stayed behind in London to close the gallery before joining the family in December 1939. The Taylors settled in Beverly Hills, where Francis opened a new art gallery. Elizabeth and her brother attended school in the area, and the family's new life in Los Angeles introduced Elizabeth to the world of entertainment. Encouraged by her mother and aided by her father's connections, her striking beauty and violet eyes soon attracted attention, leading to her first film roles as a young girl. Starting out young. In the early 1940s, Elizabeth Taylor's striking looks, especially her violet eyes, caught attention, and her mother, Sarah, eventually saw Hollywood as an opportunity for her daughter. Despite initial hesitations, Sarah signed Elizabeth with Universal Pictures, where she debuted at age 9 in There's One Born Every Minute. However, Universal quickly dropped her after a year, with critics claiming she had nothing, and was too different from other child stars like Shirley Temple. Undeterred, Elizabeth landed a role in Lassie Come Home, 1943, which led to a 7-year contract with MGM. After smaller roles in Jane Eyre, 1943, and The White Cliffs of Dover, 1944, her big break came with National Velvet, 1944. Cast as Velvet Brown, a girl who becomes a jockey, her writing skills and British accent were key to landing the role. MGM saw her potential and pushed for changes to her appearance, but Elizabeth and her family refused to alter her natural look. Following National Velvet, Elizabeth's life as a regular child ended, as MGM controlled nearly every aspect of her career, signing her to another 7-year contract. She appeared in Courage of Lassie, 1946, and even had a children's book, Nibbles and Me, published by MGM. As she grew, so did her roles with Cynthia, 1947, and Life with Father, 1947, showcasing her maturity. By 1949, she was featured on the cover of Time magazine and hailed as a leader among Hollywood's new stars. Her final child role in Little Women, 1949, cemented her place as a rising star in Hollywood. Making that transition. In 1950, Elizabeth began her transition from a child actress to an adult Hollywood star. This change was both exciting and challenging for Taylor, who had been acting since she was a young child. At the age of 18, she took on her first mature role in the thriller Conspirator. In the film, she plays a young woman who starts to suspect her husband might be a Soviet spy. Although Taylor was only 16 when Conspirator was filmed, MGM decided to delay its release until 1950. They were worried about the film's potential political implications and weren't entirely pleased with it. Taylor's next film in 1950 was a comedy called The Big Hangover, where she starred alongside popular actor Van Johnson. Around this time, her personal life was also gaining more attention. In May 1950, she married Conrad Nicky Hilton Jr., an heir to the Hilton Hotel fortune. Their wedding was a huge event, orchestrated by MGM to gain publicity for Taylor's upcoming movie, Father of the Bride. This movie, directed by Vincente Minnelli, cast Taylor as a bride preparing for her wedding, a role that was relatable given her own recent marriage. The film was a big hit, earning $6 million worldwide, which would be nearly $76 million in today's money. Its success even led to a sequel, Father's Little Dividend, in 1951. In 1951, Taylor starred in A Place in the Sun. This film was a major step forward in Taylor's career. She later said it was the first time she felt like she was truly acting instead of just playing herself. In the film, she portrays a glamorous socialite who becomes romantically involved with a poor factory worker, played by Montgomery Clift. Critics loved Taylor's performance and praised the way she showed depth and emotion. The movie itself was a huge success and helped Taylor transition into more serious acting roles. Critics at Variety called her performance a minor miracle, and the New York Times praised her tender performance. Despite the positive attention from A Place in the Sun, Taylor faced some challenges with her career. In 1952, she starred in Love is Better Than Ever, a light-hearted romantic comedy that was considered a smaller-scale film following her divorce from Conrad Hilton. Taylor's first marriage had lasted just 8 months, and her divorce caused quite a stir in the press. After this movie, Taylor was sent to Britain to work on Ivanhoe, a historical epic that required a large budget to make. Taylor wasn't thrilled with her part in the film, as she felt her character Rebecca was underdeveloped and the story was superficial. However, Ivanhoe became one of MGM's biggest hits, making $11 million globally. After completing Ivanhoe, Taylor starred in The Girl Who Had Everything in 1953, a remake of the earlier film A Free Soul. Despite her growing frustration with the studio, Taylor agreed to sign a new 7-year contract with MGM. One of the key reasons for her decision was financial. She was newly married to British actor Michael Wilding and expecting her first child. MGM's new contract promised her a substantial salary of $4,700 per week, about $54,000 in today's money, and they even gave the couple a loan for a house. The studio also signed her husband for a 3-year contract, giving MGM more control over Taylor's life and career than ever before. In 1954, Taylor's new contract led her to star in 2 films that were released just 10 days apart. The first was Rhapsody, a romantic drama where she played a woman involved in a love triangle with 2 musicians. Her second film of the year was Elephant Walk, where she portrayed a British woman struggling to adapt to life on her husband's tea plantation in Ceylon, now Sri Lanka. Originally, Vivien Leigh had been cast in the role, but after Leigh fell ill, Taylor stepped in. That fall, Taylor starred in 2 more films. The first, Beau Brummel, was a period film set in the Regency era. Taylor disliked historical films, as the elaborate costumes and makeup required her to spend long hours in preparation each day. In fact, she later admitted that her performance in Beau Brummel was one of her least favorite. The second film, The Last Time I Saw Paris, was based on a story by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Although she had originally hoped for a different role in The Barefoot Contessa, Taylor enjoyed working on The Last Time I Saw Paris. She later said that this movie convinced her that she truly wanted to be an actress, not just play a role. The film received positive reviews, though it was not as financially successful as some of her other movies. During this time, her career was increasingly defined by roles that explored romance, personal struggles, and the complexities of adulthood. With every new role, Taylor worked to prove herself as an actress capable of handling deeper, more serious parts, breaking away from the image of a child star and becoming a respected figure in Hollywood, hitting her stride. By the mid-1950s, Hollywood faced intense competition from television, which kept audiences at home watching their favorite shows. In response, studios cut back on the number of films produced, shifting focus to higher quality projects. This shift proved beneficial for Elizabeth Taylor, who had struggled to find substantial roles early in her career. Her breakthrough came with Giant, 1956, a drama about a Texas ranching family. Taylor convinced director George Stevens to cast her alongside Rock Hudson and James Dean. Filming was challenging, with frequent clashes between Taylor and Stevens and illnesses that delayed production. Tragically, James Dean died in a car accident shortly after completing his scenes, forcing Taylor to finish their shared scenes alone. When Giant was released, it became a box office hit, and Taylor received widespread acclaim for her performance. Next, MGM cast Taylor with her close friend Montgomery Clift in Raintree County, 1957, a Civil War drama where she played a troubled Southern belle. Though the film wasn't a commercial success, Taylor's performance earned her the first Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, marking a milestone in her career. Taylor's career soared with Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, 1958, an adaptation of Tennessee Williams' play. Taking on the role of Maggie came during a tough personal time for her, but she delivered a remarkable performance that became a box office sensation. Critics praised her portrayal, and she received a second Oscar nomination, solidifying her status as one of Hollywood's leading actresses. In Suddenly Last Summer, 1959, Taylor played a woman traumatized by horrific events, sharing the screen with Katharine Hepburn and Montgomery Clift. The film, based on another Tennessee Williams play, tackled controversial themes but was promoted with Taylor's glamorous image. Her performance earned her a Golden Globe and a third Oscar nomination. By 1960, Taylor had one final commitment to MGM in Butterfield 8, playing a high-end call girl, a role she disliked but was contractually bound to perform. She set conditions, including filming in New York and casting Eddie Fisher. Despite her reservations, Butterfield 8 became a commercial success, grossing $18 million and earning her praise from critics. Taylor's powerful portrayal won her an Academy Award for Best Actress, marking her first Oscar win. Taylor then took on the role of Cleopatra in Cleopatra, 1963, produced by 20th Century Fox, where she made history as the first actor to earn $1 million for a single film. However, the production was fraught with issues, including Taylor's health problems and costly delays. During filming, she began an affair with co-star Richard Burton, sparking a media frenzy. Their on-screen chemistry and off-screen romance made Cleopatra one of the era's most talked-about films. Though it was a box office success, its extreme costs nearly bankrupted Fox. Through these iconic roles, Elizabeth Taylor transformed from a glamorous Hollywood starlet to a respected actress, winning awards and redefining her career while navigating complex personal and professional challenges. Later years. By the late 1960s, Elizabeth Taylor's career began to wane. As she entered her late 30s, Hollywood was shifting toward a younger generation of stars, with actresses like Jane Fonda and Julie Christie capturing the spotlight. Taylor, no longer the ingenue, also faced public scrutiny over her weight, which affected her image in a youth-focused industry. Her high-profile lifestyle with husband Richard Burton only added fuel to the media's fascination, and public interest seemed to wane as well. In 1968, Taylor starred in two Joseph Losey films, Boom and Secret Ceremony, but both flopped at the box office. Boom was adapted from Tennessee Williams's play The Milk Train Doesn't Stop Here Anymore, and featured Taylor as a wealthy, aging woman who encounters a younger man, played by Burton, on a Mediterranean island. Despite their star power, the film didn't connect with audiences. In Secret Ceremony, a psychological drama with Mia Farrow, Taylor took on a darker role, but it too failed commercially. In 1970, Taylor starred in The Only Game in Town, playing a showgirl opposite Warren Beatty's Gambler. Unfortunately, this third film with director George Stevens also flopped, underlining her career challenges. Still, in 1972, she experienced some success with three films: X, Y, and Z with Michael Caine, for which she won Italy's David Di Donatello Award. Under Milk Wood, a Dylan Thomas adaptation in which she shared the screen again with Burton. And Hammersmith is Out, a comedy where she played a diner waitress, which earned her the Silver Bear for Best Actress at the Berlin Film Festival. Taylor and Burton's final collaboration came in 1973's TV movie Divorce His, Divorce Hers. The project became a bittersweet farewell, as they divorced the following year. That same year, she starred in Night Watch, a thriller, and Ash Wednesday, a drama that earned her a Golden Globe nomination, proving she could still draw critical acclaim. Following her split from Burton, Taylor stepped back from her film career to support her new husband, politician John Warner. During this period, she made fewer film appearances, such as in The Bluebird, 1976, a Soviet-American collaboration, and in 1977's A Little Night Music, a musical adaptation where her singing was widely criticized. Despite this, Taylor continued challenging herself in new roles. In the 1980s, Taylor shifted her focus to stage and television. She appeared in The Mirror Cracked, an Agatha Christie adaptation with an ensemble cast that saw moderate success. Her 1981 Broadway debut in The Little Foxes as the ambitious Regina Giddens marked a new chapter in her career. Although reviews were mixed, some critics, like the New York Times' Frank Rich, praised her intense performance. This success led to a London run, though British critics were less enthusiastic. Inspired by her stage success, Taylor and producer Zev Buffman launched the Elizabeth Taylor Repertory Company. Their first and only production was Private Lives, a Noel Coward play where Taylor starred alongside Burton, reuniting on stage. While commercially successful, critics noted the toll of age and health issues on both actors. After the tour ended, Taylor entered rehabilitation, and shortly after, Burton passed away, leading to the company's closure and the end of her stage career. In the following years, Taylor's roles were primarily on television. She appeared on soap operas like General Hospital and Hotel, and starred in the miniseries North and South. She portrayed gossip columnist Luella Parsons in Malice in Wonderland, and played a fading star in There Must Be a Pony. Her last major film role came in the 1989 TV adaptation of Tennessee Williams's Sweet Bird of Youth. By the 1990s, Taylor had found a new mission in AIDS activism, inspired by the loss of many friends to the disease. While she made occasional guest appearances, including on The Simpsons and Captain Planet and the Planeteers, her focus remained on raising awareness and funds for AIDS research. Her final film role was a cameo in The Flintstones, 1994, which introduced her to a new generation. In recognition of her contributions to entertainment and philanthropy, Taylor received numerous awards, including the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award and the Screen Actors Guild's Lifetime Achievement Award. She was also named a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire in 2000. Retiring from acting in the early 2000s, her final public performance in 2007 was for an AIDS benefit, fittingly tying her remarkable career to the cause closest to her heart. The Curtain Call. Elizabeth faced many health challenges throughout her life. From a young age, Taylor dealt with health issues, beginning with a condition she was born with called scoliosis, a curvature of the spine. Her struggles worsened during the filming of National Velvet in 1944, when she experienced a severe back injury. Though she fractured her spine, this injury went unnoticed for years. This led to chronic back pain that followed her throughout her life. This was just the beginning of a series of health struggles that Elizabeth Taylor would endure. In 1956, she underwent a significant spinal surgery. Doctors had to remove some of her spinal discs and replace them with bone grafts. While the surgery brought some relief, it was not a complete fix. Taylor's back pain would continue to flare up, impacting her ability to work and even her day-to-day comfort. Her condition worsened over time, and she needed more surgeries, not just for her back, but for various other health issues. Taylor's health problems were not limited to her back. In 1961, She had a close brush with death due to a severe case of pneumonia. Her condition became so serious that doctors performed a tracheotomy, creating an opening in her throat to help her breathe. The surgery left her with a scar, which Taylor would later proudly show off as a mark of survival. She was treated with bacteriophage therapy. This is a rare treatment that uses viruses to target and kill bacteria, showing how serious her illness was at the time. A few years later, in 1968, Taylor had to undergo an emergency hysterectomy, a surgery to remove her uterus. This procedure added more strain to her back and contributed to hip problems that she would have for the rest of her life. The long list of surgeries and constant pain led to Taylor's reliance on painkillers and other medications. This eventually spiraled into an addiction to both prescription drugs and alcohol. As she continued to experience physical pain, she turned to these substances to cope. In December 1983, Taylor took a bold step and checked herself into the Betty Ford Center. She was one of the first celebrities to go public with her struggle and treatment for addiction, paving the way for others to do the same. She spent 7 weeks in treatment, during which she learned to manage her addiction and address the pain that had led her down this path. Unfortunately, addiction is a complex battle, and Taylor faced setbacks. By 1988, she needed to go through rehabilitation again. This showed both the strength of her resolve and the difficulty of overcoming addiction. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, Elizabeth Taylor also struggled with her weight. Her marriage to U.S. Senator John Warner marked a period when she gained weight. This was possibly due to lifestyle changes and her ongoing health problems. She was determined to regain her health and slim down significantly. She documented her journey in her book Elizabeth Takes Off, published in 1988. The book inspired readers by showing Taylor's determination to care for herself despite her challenges. Taylor's health issues continued to mount as she got older. In 1990, another serious case of pneumonia hit her, leading her to quit smoking, a habit she'd maintained for years. The 1990s brought her additional health concerns. She had 2 hip replacement surgeries. She also experienced another life-threatening case of pneumonia in 2000. On top of this, she was diagnosed with a benign brain tumor in 1997, which required surgery. Even skin cancer affected her, leading her to seek treatment in 2002. Due to these numerous health issues, Taylor gradually withdrew from public life in the late 1990s. Her appearances became rare after 1996, as her health simply wouldn't allow her to participate in the social and public events she had once enjoyed. In 2004, she was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, a condition that occurs when the heart doesn't pump blood as effectively as it should. This added another significant strain on her already weakened body. Despite her declining health, Taylor continued to show remarkable spirit and resilience. Even as she relied on a wheelchair due to her chronic back pain, she made efforts to stay connected with her friends, family, and fans, expressing her love for life until the end. However, her heart condition worsened over time. In February 2011, Taylor was hospitalized at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. She spent her final weeks there, surrounded by her loved ones, before passing away from congestive heart failure on March 23, 2011, at the age of 79. Taylor's funeral took place the following day at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. True to her unique spirit, Taylor had left specific instructions for her funeral. It should begin 15 minutes late. This playful request was her final wink to the world. As her representative explained, she even wanted to be late for her own funeral. Her close friends and family gathered for a private Jewish ceremony, led by Rabbi Jerome Cutler. In her final resting place, Taylor was entombed in the cemetery's great mausoleum. Elizabeth Taylor's life was filled with great accomplishments, legendary beauty, and, most of all, resilience. Her health struggles may have slowed her down, but they never extinguished her spirit. Final interview. Just 1 month before her passing, though, Elizabeth gave what would be her final interview. and surprisingly, it was with none other than reality star Kim Kardashian. The interview, published in the February issue of Harper's Bazaar, covered Taylor's views on life, love, fashion, and her unique approach to connecting with fans through social media. For both Taylor and Kardashian, the conversation became a blend of admiration and a mutual love of glamour, fame, and of course, jewelry. Taylor, known for her many marriages and her dazzling jewelry collection, was open about her life's romantic and material adventures. When Kardashian asked about her two-time marriage to Richard Burton, Taylor replied with her characteristic charm, "It was inevitable that we would be married again, but it's not up for discussion." Her response gave fans a glimpse into her enduring connection with Burton, who was perhaps her greatest love. Reflecting on her 8 marriages, she added, "I never planned to acquire a lot of jewels or a lot of husbands. For me, life happened, just as it does for anyone else. I have been supremely lucky in my life in that I have known great love, and of course I am the temporary custodian of some incredible and beautiful things." Taylor was widely recognized for her timeless style and love for high fashion. When Kardashian, who is famous for her own love of couture, asked Taylor about her favorite fashion moments, Taylor fondly recalled her Edith Head-designed lavender gown from the 1970 Oscars. She shared that it was specially crafted to highlight the Taylor Burton diamond, a 69.42-carat piece that remains one of the most legendary diamonds in Hollywood history. Taylor's costumes for Cleopatra were reportedly made with gold thread, and she mentioned wearing some of them as evening attire after the film. The two icons bonded over their mutual love for fashion and glamour, with Kardashian confessing to Taylor, "You are my idol, but I'm 6 husbands and some big jewels behind. What should I do?" Taylor's advice was simple yet profound. "I have never felt more alive than when I watched my children delight in something, never more alive than when I have watched a great artist perform, and never richer than when I have scored a big check to fight AIDS. Follow your passion, follow your heart, and the things you need will come." The conversation then turned to one of Taylor's most beloved personal treasures, her jewelry. Kardashian, in awe of Taylor's collection, asked her to pick a favorite between her most famous diamonds: the 29.4-carat diamond from Mike Todd, the Krupp diamond at 33.19 carats, or the Taylor Burton diamond. Taylor admitted her love for the Krupp diamond, noting, "The Krupp is an extraordinary stone. It has such life and brilliance when light shines through it. Size does matter, but so does the size of the emotion behind it." She also recounted the story of acquiring the Prince of Wales plume pin, a treasured piece that she and Burton admired and eventually acquired, with the proceeds going to AIDS research, a cause that Taylor championed for much of her later life. Taylor's approach to fashion wasn't limited to her jewelry and famous film roles. She shared that, off-screen, she was particularly fond of the flowing caftans and big sunglasses that became her signature in the 1960s and 1970s. She explained, "I love to be casual and comfortable, but I also love the easy glamour of wearing jewelry all the time." Taylor was known for bringing a touch of luxury and a splash of sparkle to her everyday life, effortlessly blending casual style with Hollywood opulence. A pioneer in more ways than one, Taylor broke new ground when she entered the fragrance industry with her classic scent, White Diamonds, nearly 20 years before the interview. When Kardashian asked about its success, Taylor humbly replied that while she always wanted to connect with people beyond the screen, she never expected White Diamonds to become such a lasting sensation. Fragrance is an incredibly intimate thing. It can evoke very specific thoughts or memories, and is a little different for each person who wears it, Taylor explained. The fragrance, she added, was her way of giving women a little bit of luxury every day. The discussion took a personal turn when Kardashian asked Taylor about the leading men she'd worked with throughout her career. Names like Rock Hudson, Montgomery Clift, Marlon Brando, James Dean, Paul Newman, Michael Caine, and Warren Beatty. Taylor replied with admiration for their talents and added that she would have loved to work with actors like Johnny Depp and Colin Farrell, whom she praised for their range and skill. Although Taylor had seen the golden age of Hollywood, she kept up with modern technology, even embracing Twitter. When Kardashian asked if Taylor would follow her, Taylor graciously agreed, saying, "I like the connection with fans and people who have been supportive of me. And I love the idea of real feedback and a two-way street, which is very, very modern. But sometimes I think we know too much about our idols, and that spoils the dream. So, like all things, it is to be used with care." Taylor's final interview revealed not only her enduring glamour and charisma, but also her wisdom and sense of humor about life, love, and fame. After her passing in March 2011, Kardashian expressed her gratitude for the experience on her blog, calling it one of the greatest highlights of my entire life. Through this unique and candid conversation, Taylor showed that while she was a symbol of Hollywood's past, her spirit, elegance, and love for her fans were timeless. And that's a wrap on Elizabeth Taylor's early years in Hollywood. From her first roles to becoming a star, she faced challenges and triumphs along the way. Stay tuned for more on her amazing journey as she continues to shape the world of film. Thanks for watching.